Well, to call what's been going on at SANZAAR a disgrace, a shambles, probably putting it pretty mildly, if I'm honest. The debacle of Super Rugby's future and partly the Rugby Championship, it's just a gift that keeps on giving if you're in the media. But if you're a rugby fan and want to see rugby doing well and you want to see the powers that be running the show properly, you've been out of luck, man. It's been pretty bad. I've written down a few of the kind of major events which have gone on recently as this, I don't know, debacle. Seems like the best word. It just keeps going. And I'm frustrated and I'm annoyed and losing faith, man. How do these guys do this so badly? What's wrong with them? Anyway. The rumours of the South African teams on the Super Rugby side heading north, that's been around for ages. I would say probably 12 months, 24 months maybe. It's been around for ages because Super Rugby has not been a healthy competition for quite some time. Attendances have been down, viewership's been down, big players have been leaving for overseas. There's no hiding from the fact. Super Rugby stopped publishing attendance data. They're hiding stuff because the competition's not being good. They stuffed it up. They brought in too many teams, diluted the quality. They put in a conference system. Nothing worked. They made some big mistakes. And they probably needed to rectify it. Which, and this is the little bit of credit I'll give them in this video, I think they did eventually realize they'd stuffed it up and they needed to fix it by returning to a round-robin system for next year. That was the plan. I feel like these guys eventually realized this is a problem. We need to cut some more in the way of teams. So they ended up cutting the Sunwolves, reduce the travel, get rid of the conferences, keep it simple, maybe bring back some of those core fans. That ship has probably sailed in terms of bringing back some of the core fans. I think some of the people that are lost are not going to come back to Super Rugby at all. But better late than never. Right. They talked to each other. I'm assuming they made rational decisions after making some bad ones to try and fix it. And then COVID happens. Now, COVID's COVID, man. That's a human tragedy, and there's nothing we can do about that apart from, do the stuff that's right for health and safety. But for SANZAAR stuff, for every step forward, there seems to be 2 steps back. Like Super Rugby Aotearoa, which was organised in response to the COVID thing, was very good. Super Rugby AU, I thought went pretty well. What we're starting to see come out of South Africa at the moment with, what's their one called? Super Rugby, I forget the name. Someone remind me in the comments. They've had Superfan Saturday, they got the box showdown, things are getting back underway. The sad story is kind of the Hawaras guys have to leave their team to go sign. We've seen loads of guys signing for European teams because there's no gig to be held in South Africa. But in the overall scheme of things get pretty bad. One thing is New Zealand Rugby comes out with this report, the Aotearoa report, which says 5 New Zealand teams, and we'll invite some other teams to maybe attend, to express some interest in joining us in a glorious competition with the 5 New Zealand teams. Maybe 2 Aussie teams, maybe 4. Needs to be competitive. We'll add a Pacific team based in New Zealand. Silence. It's like a Western where one of those things, dust balls, whatever it's called, rolls across the screen. Nobody gave I want to swear. They gave the middle finger to New Zealand Rugby. Why the hell they did it this way, to publish a report and just not talk to each other behind closed doors to sort this stuff out sensibly, is remarkable, and not in a good way. It's ridiculous. So everyone kind of ignores New Zealand. Fair enough. Why weren't you guys talking to each other about this instead of just dropping this kind of bombshell? Rugby Australia has a counter proposal. They got two different options, one Aussie New Zealand and one kind of like a Champions League style thing. Well, I think it was one without New Zealand. I can't remember the proposals. Nothing comes of that. It's just kind of tit for tat. Bollocks. And what seems to be a souring relationship between Aussie and New Zealand rugby. For a while, South Africa's pretty quiet, especially after New Zealand's report, which didn't include any South African teams. No mention of the South Africans whatsoever. Argentinians also, no mention of them. Out. And eventually, South Africa's come out in the last few days and said they've basically indicated that they're going to pursue the option to go north to the Pro 14, make it a Pro 16, which has been, I think, coming for a long time. I've always said, I think, for a long time, and it's never been my idea, it was somebody else that said it, maybe the best solution for South Africa and for Australia and New Zealand is the South African Super Rugby teams go north, but we keep the Rugby Championship, because then you kind of keep that connection, but you get the time zone deal right, because Super Rugby, the way it was with the time zone differences, has a huge problem. Nobody cares about the games which are on in the middle of the night. So it looks like South Africa wants to go north. And they've kind of hit back at the Kiwis going, man, you guys pushed us to this. We didn't want to do this. Now, I think that's kind of, that's kind of bullshit as well. New Zealand Rugby have been acting like they're the shit and they expect everybody else to just get on with what they want. And then everyone's giving them the middle finger, kind of rightly so, from what I can see from the outside. Obviously, this is just what we see in the media. Rugby Australia is kind of in the middle, also giving New Zealand the finger and seemingly kind of giving the Western Force partly the finger and keeping them involved somehow as well. I think it's a bit disingenuous from Rugby South Africa, because I think it was going to happen eventually, probably. And to say that this is the straw that broke the camel's back is maybe a bit disingenuous, but I would say New Zealand Rugby's things probably pushed them to it faster. But and again, all this bloody dirty laundry is out in the public. Have you ever been to like a mall or something and there's like a married couple who are having an argument in the middle of the mall, like in front of their kids, and you kind of standing there awkwardly going, ugh. That's what these idiots are doing. But this is with the game that we love. They're having a bloody lovers tiff in the middle of the mall for everyone to see and make them all look like a bunch of idiots. Anyway. Then New Zealand Rugby's come out recently and said, right, our plans for 2021, we're going to do Super Rugby Aotearoa again, no Pacific team, and then we'll see if we can get the Aussies in. And then 2022, we need to have 3 more teams, and there's talk about it being maybe the Western Force, maybe a Chinese team, maybe the Fiji draw. So they're basically trying to become global rapid rugby. And to make things even a bit worse, the Hawaiian team that was trying to get into the MLR have said that the 2021 process to try and get in for their team has been real shady. They said they weren't given much time, and the New Zealand Rugby Players Association has said what New Zealand Rugby is doing is bollocks, and that they haven't been consulted, and they're not supposed to be able to make decisions like this without consulting the Players Association. They also question the idea of getting in the Western Force, a Chinese team, and like the Fijian team or something, or a Hawaiian team, and just ignoring the traditional Super Rugby Australian teams. It seems like they're just doing it to spite each other in public. I don't know. And the Rugby Championship thing, whilst that was kind of a bright spot, they managed to organise it to get it done in Australia. And the Wallabies are here now training in New Zealand, which is good news for international rugby to get back underway. And the South African guys are getting some game time, hopefully, before they can come over for the Rugby Championship as well. I haven't heard any reports about Argentina getting more COVID cases amongst their training group for quite some time, which is also encouraging. Haven't heard much about Argentina, to be honest, in this whole process. They seem to have been pretty quiet. I may have just missed it. Some of it may have been reported in the Spanish media, like Spanish-speaking media. I don't know. And now there's this bloody bollocks with the dates. There's a he said, she said thing with New Zealand. SANZAAR releases the fixtures list. New Zealand Rugby goes, we didn't agree to that. We're supposed to be home for Christmas. And then Rugby Australia, I think, said, no, you agreed to it. And then New Zealand Rugby, no, we didn't. And then here's the minutes. Yes, you did. Although those minutes aren't the real minutes. Like, what the fuck, man? What is wrong with these morons? Whatever these guys get paid, it's too bloody much. I'll tell you that right now. Pissing me off. Idiots. Anyway, sorry. This video's gone totally ramble. I'll view it later and see if I want to upload it. It's a debacle and it just keeps on going. And I just want them to shut up, talk to each other like adults, stop airing your dirty laundry in public, and try to work out a plan that works for everybody. If the South African team's going north works better, then do that. But don't be pointing the finger at each other. Don't just go off on your own and then make some plan and then say everyone has to do this. Like, do you guys want to join me? And then make yourself look like an idiot. Anyway, just do what's right for the game, man. Do what's right for your players. Do what's right for the fans. Airing your dirty laundry and having arguments through the media and press releases is stupid. What is wrong with you? Powers that be. Honestly, you're like a bunch of kids. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Bledisloe games aren't too far away. There's other rugby to watch. The Bok Showdown is this weekend. Let's enjoy that one. Sorry for swearing. I don't usually swear in the videos. I'll put up, if I do release this video, I'll put up a warning at the start. But, yeah. It's probably just gotten a bit, I don't know, it's gotten a bit much with the, just the consistent bickering we see from these people who are supposed to be like, responsible, smart people in charge of the game, but they just keep acting like kids. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they sort it out. South African rugby's not done themselves any favours by seemingly going to kick out the cheaters as well. Like, if you're going to play the victim and then kick out the cheaters, that doesn't look good for you either. Nobody looks good out of this. Maybe, as I said, the Argentinians. Everyone else looks like a bloody fool. But again, I may have not read everything, crossed every I and dotted every T and whatnot. There may be other stuff I'm missing. But from what we've been following, that seems to be the way it's going. They're all acting like morons. I don't take a particular side. My side is rugby and the fans and the players and the game. Yeah, anyway. We'll see what happens. Once the South African teams are confirmed to be going to the Pro 14, they've obviously got to get accepted, and then we'll see what happens with that and when they can start. That'll be another video. But yeah, for now, that's the direction things are going. And we'll wait and see what happens. All right. We'll see what headline comes out next from these people bickering and carrying on like a bunch of morons. But anyway, I might go have a beer. What do you reckon? Sounds like a good idea. Sorry again for the rant, but it's been building and whew, let's have a beer and we'll feel better. Anyway, you guys take care. I'll talk to you again soon. See ya.